Shabbat Shalom. We are going to begin our service on the top of page 10 with words from Psalms. Hine Matov, how good and sweet it is for us all to be here, to worship, to celebrate Shabbat all together. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov. Ya la 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 la. Hine matov, hine matov. Ya la 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 la. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom once again. Shabbat Shalom to all of us here physically, all of us joining on the live stream. Hine matov, it is so good to be together. Shabbat reminds us that we are not just together with those who are in this room or watching us on our live stream. We're together with Jewish people around our world, all celebrating this day of sanctity and rest and holiness. And we're also together with all of our people from all of time and space. Shabbat is a tradition that has kept us Jewish people as one throughout the ages. And tonight we especially acknowledge our connection with the state of Israel as we celebrate Hadassah Shabbat, and we'll be exploring that a little bit later in our service. But Shabbat is that great connector. It's that great reminder that all of us need rest, just as God needed rest. And it's the reminder that our people continue to persevere, and every week we take this period of 24 hours to acknowledge our Jewish identities and to bring in a little bit of joy and peace to a world that needs joy and peace. I'd like to invite up Ron and Susan Elenoff to light our candles this evening in observance of their daughter Anna's yortzeit. And as they come up, I also want to take a note for us to think about our people and all people in Ukraine, as today marks a year since the Ukraine invasion. And tonight we kindle candles with hopes of that peace and that joy. And we think of the many in Ukraine who have been compelled to light their own candles because they had no choice. So we delight in our holy ritual, and we hope that our candles can make this world a little bit brighter. We're on pages 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of the Shabbat.
Thank you, Susan and Ron. Page 8. Let's read together. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We continue welcoming Shabbat on page 20 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet ve'litchila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech umi uri, uri shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. We rise in body or spirits and face the door to welcome Shabbat. Bo'ii v'shalom ahateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, Tol chemunei am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Bottom of page 27. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. We continue with Baruch, our call to worship on page 28. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Page 31. We read together at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Middle of page 32. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. Together, we will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated as we continue on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am beshivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem. The bottom of page 37, we look at the middle footnote by one of our most famous philosophers, Martin Buber, and he said, "When people come to you for help, do not turn them off with pious words, saying, 'Have faith and take your troubles to God.' Act instead as if there were no God, as though there were only one person in all the world who could help, only yourself." We continue with Micha Mocha on page 40. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam livnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 ya lai lai, yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai, yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth together, for with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We turn to page 46 and rise in body or spirit for the Amidah, the central portion of our prayers. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Vehanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imachot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofech Oholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat le'achayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We read alternating paragraphs on page 55. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We take a moment for our own personal prayer. Page 62. Yehiyu leratzon imre fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri vegoali Yehiyu leratzon imre fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri vegoali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to God, our rock and our Redeemer. We especially pray that the words of our mouths reach far when we pray Mishaberach, when we think about those in our lives and in our world who are in need of healing, whether it be healing of the body, the mind, or the spirit. And we turn to page 253 as we think about those in our communities who we're praying for this Shabbat. We pray for Michelle Alexander, Heather Andrews, Carol Babcock, Vera Benjamin, Jim Brady, Pauline Cherwin, Susan Derby, Helene Edwards, Muriel Fields, Michael Freeman, Beverly Fruit, Mary Hartman, Larry Heckler, Robert Kay, Deborah Kay, Gary Mass, Lori Malamud, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Sarah Penshaw, Mark Pendergraft, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Sean Quinlan, Joyce Avchin-Racklin, Risa Rappaport, Ron Rappaport, Sandra Resnikoff, Devorah Bat-Rachel, Lanny Rothstein, Lois Avchin-Rosenthal, Kevin Rutherford, Stephanie Shabilia, Sid Siegel, Ruthie Silver, Nicholas Sobek, Jane Terry, Judy Van Gorder, Mark Weig, Lee Wagman, Barbie Young. If you would like to share aloud names of those who you're praying for this evening, please do so as I look around the room.
Charles Sellin, Dr. Kinney, John Mitchell, Sam Zuka, Fred and Dorothy Weiss, Susan Popial, Fran Young, Larry Reed, Mary Lou Boya, Ray Halpern, and Cheryl Cole.
We also think of those impacted by the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, and those who protect us every moment of every day as we continue with words of Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Even as we pray for the healing of our world, we know that there's lots to celebrate, and I am delighted that Goldie Lansky, the president of our Jacksonville Hadassah, is going to be sharing some words with us about Hadassah and its organization and our connection with the state of Israel. Because through all of the chaos of this world, this organization has been around and done amazing things. So I'm very excited to hear from Goldie a little bit of her insight into this connection.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. My parents were very principled people, seemingly unaffected by what others were doing or thinking. When the explanation for what was expected was, "This is what Lansky girls do," I knew there was no comeback. The conversation was over. Among the many things Mother taught me was every Jewish woman must belong to her synagogue sisterhood and to a women's Zionist organization. She belonged to Hadassah, and so do I. My Hadassah involvement began when I was 4 or 5. I learned how to put stamps on envelopes by helping Mother with her Hadassah mailings. I was told the stamps must be straight and right side up. This is a Hadassah mailing. And so it was. At the end of every summer, there was a discussion about how much my allowance would be that year and what new financial responsibilities were mine. One line item in my budget was the weekly Hebrew school tzedakah money. I knew that there was little that could cause more trouble for me than a note from the Hebrew school teacher reporting that I had not contributed to the weekly collection. Spending tzedakah money on something that I wanted was not what Lansky girls do. There were 2 tzedakah boxes in our home. One was the blue box for Israel, and the other was an old coffee can for local organizations. When Daddy got home from work on Fridays, he always made a contribution to both boxes. Daddy owned his own business. Mother told me that if it was a good week, Daddy put paper money in each box. If it wasn't quite so good, coins in each box. With words and deeds, I was taught my responsibilities to make the world a better place and to support Israel. This year, we celebrate 75 years since Israel's founding and Hadassah's 111th birthday. While Hadassah precedes Israel by more than a quarter century, They are inextricably tied together. Henrietta Zold was Hadassah's founder and an ardent Zionist. She was an avid Jewish learner whose life might have been all so different if she had been born in another century. She was born in Baltimore in 1860. She adored her father, who was a rabbi, and she studied alongside him as she was barred from learning in any institutions of formal study. Her intellect and scholarship were recognized by the Jewish Publication Society, where she edited hundreds of manuscripts written by men. Never once did her name appear on any document. Betrayed by the man she loved, she went to Palestine in 1909 to mend her broken heart. And as it is said, all of the rest is history. In Palestine, she found Jews and Arabs living in poverty. Squalor was rampant and food was scarce. Healthcare was non-existent. Within months of her return to the States, she had energized her women's study group to raise the money to send 2 nurses to Palestine to focus on 2 issues. One was providing milk for the young children, and the second was to fight the flies which cause trachoma that leads to permanent blindness. The rallying cry at Hadassah's founding at Purim in 1912 guides our work to this day. We are the women who do. We are committed to Aruchat Bat Ami, the healing of the daughters of our people. We are all proud of Israel's accomplishments. Lists are very frequently distributed. Israel's research efforts impact healthcare. Israel's inventions extend the use of technology. Israel's creativity expands our cultural understandings. Israel boasts more Nobel Prize winners per capita than any other country. Farmers the world over thank Israel for creating drip irrigation, and we thank Israel for creating the cherry tomato. Israel is our spiritual home and a haven for persecuted Jews. At the close of World War II, Israel welcomed thousands of Holocaust survivors. Operation Magic Carpet rescued some 50,000 Yemenite Jews in 1949. And in the years since, we've rescued Jews from Ethiopia, from Russia, and most recently from the Ukraine. Hadassah has and continues to play a key role in all of these efforts. Our 2 tertiary care research hospitals in Jerusalem are recognized as the finest in the Middle East. We provide health care to everyone who walks in our door, regardless of ability to pay, regardless of religious affiliation, regardless of ethnic background. At our hospitals, Jews, Arabs, Christians, Israeli-trained personnel, people who have been trained throughout the world, all work together because diversity, equity, and inclusion are values we embrace. Unfortunately, the hospital staff has had to develop the skills to respond to disaster and to war. And we share those skills willingly. Earlier this month, we sent a team to Turkey to provide care. Perhaps more importantly, the team was tasked with crafting a system of healthcare delivery from the resources that they found available following the earthquake. We were the first medical team into Poland when the war in Ukraine began. Much like in Turkey, that first team's responsibility was to assess the local healthcare resources, to craft a system that could respond long-term to the anticipated influx of patients. 10 additional teams followed, each of whom spent 2 weeks in Poland. The later teams included a Hadassah hospital clown whose job was to inject some sense of normalcy into the lives of terrified children. You may remember that a team from Hadassah was here in South Florida when the Surfside condominium collapsed. We like to believe that Jewish families are exempt from alcoholism, drug abuse, family dysfunction, and poverty. If only that were true. At the close of World War II, Hadassah established Youth Aliyah villages to care for the children of Europe whose parents and family members had been murdered. Today, those Youth Aliyah villages serve the Israeli children who are not safe to remain at home. When it became clear that Ukrainian parents were making the excruciating decision to send their children alone to places of safety, the Israeli government approached Hadassah and asked if we would care for the children. There was only one answer. We are the women who do, and we are doing. The Ukrainian children are living side by side in our Youth Aliyah villages with the Israeli children. With all of Israel's accomplishments, it can be hard for us as American Jews to understand and support some of the actions of the Israeli government. As Reform Jews, it's hard to feel heard and respected. I am deeply concerned about the right-leaning perspective of the newly organized government. I fear for the marginalized communities within the general population. I worry that the very fragile peace may falter, and I'm concerned that hard-fought rights may be left behind. Yet my commitment to the state of Israel is steadfast. Hadassah's policy statement declares our unwavering support for Israel. It reads in part, "We reassert our staunch support for Israel's sovereignty and security and urge all nations and leaders to speak out for Israel's right to defend itself against all threats that endanger the safety and security of Israeli citizens." It goes on to say, "We value the importance of advocating on a federal level for a strong U.S.-Israel relationship. The friendship between our two countries is never taken for granted, and we, as American citizens, represent a bipartisan commitment between two democracies with shared values." Many months ago, Rabbi Glasser wrote a piece entitled, "I am a Jew, I am a Zionist." Well, I won't quote it in its entirety. I will share with you several statements. I am a Jew, I am a Zionist. I believe that no person should ever have to go to sleep at night in a bomb shelter, hugging children close and pretending for their sake that the rockets are fireworks. I believe that home is the most simple subject and the most complicated conversation we could ever have. I believe that there are many sides to the same story. I believe in deep spiritual ties to physical spaces. I believe you can love something or someone fiercely and disagree with its actions just as fiercely, and both are true. I am a Jew. I am a Zionist. I am proud of Israel, not of everything that she does, but rather everything that she can be. I am proud to be the president of Jacksonville Hadassah, a group of 900 committed Zionists who do whenever we are called and sometimes before the call comes. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Goldie. And thank you for, yeah, you want to? Thank you for your leadership and for helping us to maintain this crucial connection with Israel. And thank you also for taking the time to speak to us tonight and give us a glimpse into your passion and into Hadassah's work. And to celebrate Israel, we're going to continue on page 356. Please join with me in this beautiful song, Yerushalayim Shel Zahav by Naomi Shemer. Avir harim tzalul kayayin vereach oranim nisa baruach ha'arbaim kol pamonim Uftar de matilan va'even shvuya b'chaloma Ha'ir yasher badad yoshevet uveliba chochma Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or Halo lechol shirayich ani kinor Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or Halo lechol shirayich ani kinor Echayav shuv borot hamayim kikar hashuk reka ve'en pokeret har habayit ba'ir ha'atika uva marot asher basela miyalelot ruchot Ve'en yored el yam hamelech b'derech Yeriko Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or halo lechol shirayich ani kinor Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or halo lechol shirayich ani kinor Ach bevoi hayom lashir lach ולך לקשור כתרים, קטונתי מציר בעינייך, ימי אהרון המשורים. כי שמך צורבת הפסטיים, כי נשיקת שרף. אם אשכחך ירושלים, אשר כולה זהב. ירושלים של זהב, ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. ירושלים של זהב, ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. חזרנו אל בורות המים, לשוק ולכיכר, שופר קורא בהר הבית, בעיר העתיקה. ובמרות אשר בסלע, אלפי שמשות זורחות. ושוב נרד אל ים המלך בדרך יריקו. ירושלים של זהב, ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. ירושלים של זהב, ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. We continue on page 282 with Aleinu, reminding us that we have a part to play in the continued healing in our world. We rise in body or spirit. Please be seated. Bottom of page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. During the period of Shiva, the week following death, we remember Harold Cohen, the uncle of Gail Jarrett. During the period of Shloshim, the 30 days following death, we remember Corazon Castro, the mother of Conrad, Howard Sherwin, brother of Beverly Kaufman, Karen Kaunitz, wife of Andy, Robert Need, husband of Thelma, Adele Shamban, mother of Jill Metlin. At the period of Yortzeit, the anniversary of death, we remember Kenny Bear, Edwin Barwald, Abraham Bearson, Ida P. Benjamin, Julian Benjamin Jr., Lenore Berger, Lillian Cohen, Anna Elenoff, Harold Foreman, Robert Gefter, Dina Garrity, Pauline Greenhut, Chaim Grochovsky, Thomas Hernandez, Belle Hirsch, David Hoven, Nancy Cantor, William Krinsky, Leo Mack, Irving Purcell, Elliot Shapiro, Dr. Melvin Stone, Charles Sussman, Frank Tucker, Sylvia Weiss, Thelma Yeskel. If there's someone you're remembering this evening whose name you'd like to share aloud, please do so as I look around the room. We hold all of these names in our hearts as we rise in body or spirit for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 294. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemeh rabbah, be'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemeh rabba mivarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemeh dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yahei shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. Please be seated. We invite up Michael Kaur, a member of our Executive Committee and Board of Trustees, to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. First, I'd like to thank Rabbi for a beautiful service and Goldie for your words, much inspiring. My name is Michael Kaur, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we welcome you tonight to Congregation Ahavat Chesed. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., Rabbi Glasser will lead Torah study in the Parker Auditorium, followed by Shabbat morning minyan in the chapel at 10:30. On Sunday, we will have TIR at 9 a.m., followed by our Purim Carnival at noon, and you may purchase tickets at the door on Sunday if you're not yet registered. Tuesday at 10:30 a.m., Stephen Bloomfield will lead Wisdom. Next Saturday, March the 4th at 7 p.m., wear an outfit from your favorite decade and join us for a night of celebration, refreshments, and Elton John songs at our Adult Purim Extravaganza. The party is free, but please register in advance. And there is an amazing spiel being put on by volunteers of the congregation, which you do not want to miss. Also, don't forget to bring a box of pasta to temple every time you visit until March the 3rd. Please read your temple email if you would like more information on upcoming activities. Our oneg tonight will be in the front vestibule, which you can enter, this is where you came in, okay? Turn right as you go out of the sanctuary. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. I'm excited to see the spiel too. They have been rehearsing very hard, so it should be an incredible evening next weekend, and we're kicking off our Purim festivities, as Michael said, this Sunday, so bring your families and come join us. There's much to celebrate tonight. I am pleased to share that we are celebrating the 80th birthday of our beloved David Selin. So he is... He's going to help lead us in Kiddush and Motzi, and it is also his 67th bar mitzvah anniversary, and he is a proud lifelong associate member of Hadassah, so he is thrilled to be sharing his birthday Shabbat with Hadassah Shabbat, and in honor of Hadassah as well, I'd love to invite up any Hadassah members to come join us right in front near David or in front of the stairs to delight in Shabbat joy all together. And if you are following along in your prayer book, we are on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah lemikraye kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha Be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen. L'chaim, David. And we join all together in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. David, you can grab a piece and pass it around to all of our wonderful Hadassah ladies. And David, we wish you all the best on your birthday. We hope that you will go from strength to strength, and we are so grateful for your devotion to our temple and to your presence here. So we wish a sweet and good year, and thank you to all of our Hadassah ladies for joining us this evening. We are going to conclude our service at the bottom of page 343 with a prayer for peace, peace for our own country and communities, peace for Israel, and peace for our world. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat shalom.